It's day 2 of a crackdown on protests in Wauwatosa, and so far, marchers are not backing down. They were out into the early morning outside the home of the mayor of Wauwatosa.
And that man, Mayor Dennis McBride, says no arrests were made even after he announced strict enforcement of ordinances would start last night. As he told our Sean Gallagher, some costly fines could be coming to those who continue to break the rules.
Last night, or really early this morning, protesters were right here outside of Mayor Dennis McBride's home, testing his statement that the city was going to more strictly enforce its ordinances related to protests.
It was not peaceful. It was not compliant with the law. It was intended to obviously thumb their noses at my statement.
This was the scene near Mayor McBride's home around 12:30 Friday morning.
Probably 50 people showed up in cars and on foot, honking their horns, playing loud music, screaming, chalking my sidewalk, throwing toilet paper in my trees, putting police security tape across trees and other things in my yard, so they trespassed, which is itself a violation, and kept the neighbors up.
I spoke to a couple of his neighbors off camera. They tell me they slept through the night, but the video clearly shows cars honking and people yelling. McBride and the Wauwatosa Police Department say no arrests were made despite breaking the ordinances. However, that doesn't mean discipline isn't coming.
Police have identified some of the protesters, and citations will be issued.
Wauwatosa police tell me they may not arrest people on site for violating ordinances so as to not escalate any potential conflict. But they will work to identify the protesters who violate any ordinances after the fact.
Protest peacefully and no one will bother you. Break the law and you will pay the consequences. You will suffer the consequences of that. What am I supposed to do? Ignore violations of law? No, there are rules for everything.
And McBride says their enforcement of these ordinances will not violate anyone's First Amendment rights.
You're not allowed to protest at people's houses at 12:30 in the morning. That is not reasonable, and the Supreme Court supports me in that. Come over to my house at 12:30 in the afternoon and don't disobey the picketing ordinance. That's a different thing.
The mayor says citations going out carry a fine up to $5,000 if convicted. In Wauwatosa, Sean Gallagher, TMJ4 News.